Hello, hello. How you doing, Major Wilson? Give me 1 second, guys. Let me make sure that the AC is not making weird sounds. Okay. Hello, guys. Hello. Hello, Shula. Hello, Backwonder. Hello, Columns. Hello, Brewski Papi. Hello, Hermano. Hello, Rhett. Hello, She-Rocket. Hello, Sad. Hey, guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Today, we're going to be talking about the Season 18 perks and what you need to know and what does it mean for you as an Overwatch player. Which ones are good, which ones are not so good. What should you use, what should you not use. Just generally, we'll talk about these things. Because I think that the perks themselves are a little bit wild. They're a little bit crazy. Hello, Ninju. Hello, Kenma. Hey, guys. Hello, Lirdon. Hello, Emmett. Hello, I have scoliosis. Hello, Powis. Hello, Slim Jim. Hello. Hello, Asif. How you doing? Hello, Yomu. Hello, guys. Hey. Season 18 comes out tomorrow, I believe. And so does Wu Yang, I believe, right? The buffed version of Wu Yang. Tomorrow's gonna be nuts. Yeah. Hog River is gonna be nice. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. I don't know. I don't know if the Hog Reverse is in the perk list, but we gotta talk about it as well. It is kind of one of them. Okay, I'm gonna talk about it. Let's wait for let's for 1 more minute for a little bit more people to join, and we can talk about it. What's up, Bulbs 2? What's your take on the changes, good or bad? We're gonna read it as a whole. I haven't seen the whole thing, if I'm being fair. I was waiting for the stream to read the whole thing. Oh, I read like some of it. Some of it looked nice, some of it looked atrocious. Should have been avoiding Venture completely? No? Can kill Venture sometimes. Depends. You're probably gonna find more value doing other things than chasing Venture, but shouldn't be avoiding her at all costs. I've heard, you know, when people say I've heard this often, where did you hear this often? Who told you these things? Who is the propaganda spreader? Hello, hello, Dragonite, hello. The Tracer okay, and now I understand. The Tracer main subreddit. I haven't been to the Reddit, but I'd like to assume that the best player on the Tracer main subreddit is Low Masters. Would that be fair to say? Now, I'm not saying you need to take 1v1s against Venture all the time, but you can poke her out sometimes. If she's out of cooldown, she's definitely killable. Let's begin, guys. Let's do it. Let's get over it. Let's get over here with the... Let me just turn off the volume here. 13. Boom, boom, boom. You'll be able to see this, I believe. Okay, wait. Why is it not showing? You guys see this? Yes, you guys can see this. Perfect. Perfect. But why is it so... Oh, I see. That's why. What the fuck? Wow. Okay. I don't know what I'm clicking. Where is it? I left... Kidding me. Where is that? Okay, here we go. If I do this, okay. If I do... Pretty, I mean, I think every hero has the perks stuff. So we're just gonna go over the perks here, each hero, and we're just gonna go over the change. I'm not gonna talk about what regular perks does, just see what changed. So, what they have added. So as of now, you know, from what I know, is that there's no real problem with perks. I mean, some of them are a little bit too strong, some of them are a little bit too weak. So I'll give you an example of what I think is too strong of a perk. I think the double swift step for Kiriko is very broken. I think that the double nano is very, very strong. Yeah, but for the most part, they are okay. There's nothing completely out of the ordinary that completely shifts how you play, or make the game significantly easier. Some of these new ones are old. This is taken from the Overwatch, this is taken specifically from Overwatch website that was released on the 22nd of August, just so you know. I have the X thread. The problem with the X thread, I did some research, and apparently, like, the things that are there that are being said are not exactly true. This is from the official Overwatch. This is from the official Overwatch website. I don't know where you guys get yours, but this is from the official Overwatch website. It was uploaded on the 22nd of August, just 3 days ago. And you got the post you're referring to on X was posted on 21 of August, the day before the Overwatch release. Also, okay, so you never stand still when you shoot AVG. Never ever. Either way, let's move. So there's a new minor perk for Ashe. So after using Dynamite, pressing E again caused it to detonate after a 0.5 second delay. So in short, the way your Dynamite explodes normally is that you have to shoot at it, right? So essentially, the perk just does what you were meant to do regardless by shooting at the mine. I don't exactly understand this perk. I guess it just makes it easier. You don't have to hit the shot on the Dynamite. You can just kind of do it while maybe shooting other people. I'm not a big fan of this because of one reason. Ashe is already a very easy character. It just makes Ashe a lot easier to play. Not a big fan of that change, but I think that it's gonna be fluid. I think it's gonna help you get more kills. Yeah, but at the expense of making the character a hell of a lot easier. So am I a fan? Not so much, but this is in short. I think this perk is pretty damn good, unless you're playing against Dive And I think this one will be better for you if you play against that where you have to move. So, moving on to Bastion. Configuration reload. Refresh the cooldown of A36 tactical grenade when changing configuration. So what it means, in short, is that you have two modes. You have the turret mode, or like as they call it, assault, and you have the recon mode, right? So when you use a right-click your grenade and then you move into your turret form, you have another grenade. So you can do double grenade. Now, is it good? Yes, it does. It does tons of burst damage. It's incredible burst damage. And also, it really helps with movement abilities. So for example, let's say you're getting chased. What you can do is grenade to get out of the way, and then have another one if you need to get another one out of the way. You can triple the nade. I'm assuming that if you change your configuration to your ult, right? So yes, technically you can do 3, but realistically you're gonna do 2. Regardless, you're gonna have the cooldown back after you ult. I still think that the temporary overhealth when you use your ulti is quite useful. It's very, very useful. Also prevents you from dying in a lot of situations. You know, like when you're low, you can just click your ulti, you get 300 overhealth, and you probably live. If you live turret mode, you get it again. That's interesting. But regardless, the turret mode, even if you were to leave it, you would have it back anyways, and you would rather stay in your turret form for the most part. But yeah, I get what you're saying. So like you go into the turret, you grenade, go to turret form, another grenade, and then get out of turret form for 3 per grenade. If that is the case, I find it to be a little bit broken. I'm not gonna lie. I find it to be a little bit broken. I'm not gonna lie. I think that the armor artillery is a very, very good perk. The thing is about that is that it's used once in an ultimate, so it will come in handy maybe once every minute and a half. You know, and I'm always a big fan of utilizing something, right? Utilizing something that is more consistently, that is more in touch with your cooldowns, in more touch with how the gameplay feels fluid. I'm assuming, I mean, the exception to the rule if that would be completely broken, like Ana perk, because you get nano pretty fast, and also the perk with a double nano is very, very broken. So that's kind of the exception to the rule. So I think that the configuration reload is gonna be obnoxious. I think it's gonna be very, very, very strong. If you can do triple grenade, you could just kill somebody so quickly. You don't even need triple grenade. You can just do a double. The triple grenade, I think, is most of the time you would rather keep yourself in turret form than use triple grenade. A turret form is worth more than a grenade that is on a 5-second cooldown compared to your turret form, which is like very, very long cooldown. So I think like you can do double nade and turret form. I think it's gonna be incredible. So right before you want to click your turret form, you want to try to throw grenades and squishies, and they'll probably die. Does anybody know how much damage it actually does if it sticks? Assuming the nade it sticks to somebody, how much damage does it do directly? Does anybody know the number? And by the way, hello to everyone. It's low? No way, dude. The grenade doesn't do 10, 15, 25 damage on Bastion. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? It does a bunch of damage. Let me test this for a second. Let me try this. Let me test this. Who has a lot of HP? Like, who has like 200 HP? Maybe a Widow? Regard, let's say, so, yeah, that does like, I'm assuming these have 250, right? These ones have 250. So it's 125. 125 is 250. It's like double, it's 250 in 2 grenades. So like you do a grenade, turret form grenade, and add with that damage, people just explode. And also like, it's not even about the idea of the burst damage you can do with a double nade, it also disrupts people. Like so when you do a grenade, into turret from another grenade, they're gonna be disrupted and move around, so it's gonna be very easy to capitalize with this. I think that the grenade one is gonna be very, very big. It's gonna be very, very strong. Okay. Let's get back to this. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a little bit of obnoxious. I would recommend using that one for sure. This one is not bad, but this one is just wow. It's very strong. All right, moving on to Cassidy. Silver Bullets on a major perk. Peacekeeper's secondary fire is replaced with a piercing shot and inflicts bleeding. Combat roll and Deadeye reset its cooldown. Well, that seems very interesting on paper. It seems very interesting on paper. That being said, it also depends how much the bleed is. And when it says piercing shot, sure, but like how much damage? Right? All right. So yeah, that one. So look, the critical hits with primary fire reduce its cooldown of combat roll by 3 seconds. I actually think, in theory, this is not a bad perk, but in practice, this is not useful a lot of times. Your combat roll is not going to be used that frequently, anyways. So it's not that big of a deal, and you also have to hit the headshots as well, which really depends on who you play against. It's not always that easy. So if the silver bullet actually does a decent amount of damage, and the bleed is actually meaningful, I would say this is a pretty solid one. But like so far, we read 3 perks, and 3 of them and bear in mind, 2 of them were minor perks, not even major perks. And they were very, very strong. I would argue that this perk seems way stronger than this perk. The minor perk of Bastion seems stronger than the major perk of Cassidy. Very interesting. Moving on to Echo. Okay, 2 new minor ones. Focus Rush. Focusing beam's range is increased by 4 meters, and movement speed is increased by 10% when active? Wow. Wow. That is actually crazy. I'm not gonna lie, it's actually quite a crazy perk. So the way Echo works is what you want to do is that you want to be within range of your beam so you can follow up on that, right? You can follow up on that. The problem sometimes with playing within beam range is that you have the inherent risk of dying because the beam range is still within a range where enemies can kill you. So there's an inherent problem with the beam range. Is number one, you're kind of like stuck in the air. It's very easy to hit you most of the time. And also because you're close distance, they can kill you, but that completely gets rid of it. So if you pick that perk, for example, you can beam from far away and you have 10% movement speed, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's noticeable. Which essentially means every time you beam, you're very likely to get the kill, but more importantly, not even very likely to get a kill, but very likely to not die. Which is like the inherent weakness of beaming. But I think it's kind of crazy for a minor perk. I think the second one, Duplicate, starts with 50% of its ultimate charge. Regardless of the outcome, regardless of like most, like 95% of the time, you would only be able to get away with 1 ult. In some rare occasions, when you pick Tracer, you might get away with 2 pulse bombs. But the 50% doesn't really do much for you. You get it pretty fast regardless. I think this perk is pretty weak. It's pretty insignificant. I would take the Focus Rush like 10 out of 10 times. I think the partial scan. Like I don't know. Even bronze players, I think, that would be able to get their ult. I've never heard of anybody who didn't manage to get their ult in a copy. I don't think that ever happens. Silver bullet headshot plus bleed kills Tracer. Wow. Okay, so that's like you will take it 10 out of 10 times. It's insane. Wow. If that's true, it's ridiculous, Ashke. That's crazy. That's actually insane. I don't know what, like, so far the power creep is very strong on this patch. They are making the characters way stronger than they are. It's like not a little bit stronger. They're way stronger than they are with the perks, and also easier to play. But you know, maybe it's not the case for the other heroes. Freya. 2 minor, 1 major. Direct hits with take aim, which is your secondary fire, the big shot, the big arrow. Reveal enemies to Freya for 3 seconds. I mean, it's all right. I think it's just all right. I don't see how it's useful and what situations it will be useful. I mean, maybe in close quarter combat, where it's kind of like almost as a Zenyatta Discord orb, where you kind of can kill people around walls because you know where they are. But yeah, I don't like the difference is that Zenyatta has no movement abilities, so it's fine to not see them, I guess. I mean, I think it's all right. I don't know. I think it's all right. I don't think it's crazy good. Quick dash distance increased by 20%. That one, for example, is pretty big. Because quick dash is one of your disengage ability. Monkey jumps, you dash. But the dash is pretty short. It's almost like combat roll a lot of times, unless you're updrafting. So I think that one is pretty useful. Not only you can get away from danger reliably because you have two of them, you can close the distance more reliably when enemy's trying to run away or switch between positions. I think that one is way better than this one. I think like sometimes you can do like a mix and match and throw this Hunter's Instinct and do the reveal here and there. Maybe against... Yeah, no, I was about to say maybe against dive, but against dive you would take this 10 out of 10. So I don't know. I don't see where this one is more useful, honestly. Aerial recovery. After using updraft, heal for 30 health per second until Freya touches the ground. So they swapped it out with the one that you basically get a dash reset, which I'm glad. I think the dash reset was a little bit obnoxious. But that one is ridiculous. So if you do updraft and you do a double shift, until you touch the ground, dude, you would heal full HP. What are you talking about? That's insane. That is insane. You would heal the entire full HP. From 1 HP, you go from 250. If you do an updraft with a double shift hold. Insane. Yeah, with aiming down, of course. It's insane. That major perk is insane. Direct hits with take aim, refund 4 automatic bolt ammo. Yeah, nobody cares about that. I don't think these are even remotely close. You have to understand that this major perk means that you literally don't care about supports at all. You would be fine with no supports, especially because these cooldowns come back pretty fast. This major perk is insane. I literally don't see any reason as to why we take this one at all. Relentless Barrage. It's really wow. That's insane. These perks are quite insane. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I've seen the Genji one. I think the Genji one is a little bit crazy, and I want to elaborate a little bit on that. So. The new minor perk is Swift Cuts, right? Quick melee reduces the cooldown of Swift Strike by 3 seconds. So I don't exactly remember what's the cooldown on Genji Swift Strike. Let me actually check to make sure that I know exactly. 8 seconds. Okay, 8 seconds. So it's an 8-second cooldown, and each melee is 3 seconds. Which means, give or take, you would need 2 melees. By the time you dash, you would need like 2 melees to basically have another one. Now, why is that a problem? Because it teaches players how to play the game fundamentally wrong. Let me elaborate on that. Let me turn off this and show you the Overwatch screen for a second, the practice range. And I'll explain. The problem with this perks right now is that the power creep is so strong, and when the power creep is very, very strong, and you make abilities strong, so like you can get away with things much easier, you can do a lot of damage, what ends up happening is that when people make mistakes, they're able... it's less likely for you to capitalize on these mistakes, which means that your carry potential becomes lower, right? That's the problem with that. Let's go into the practice range. I want to quickly explain to you how you're supposed to play Genji fundamentally, right? The way you play Genji is that you always try to close the distance from off angles, right? So, for example, what you want to do is you want to get close to the enemies and use a right click. Close to them when they're not looking, right? So, two things happen. If you engage and you shoot, and you hit your shots and the HP goes down, and you see that there's an opportunity to confirm the kill, you do this, finish the kill, and then you have a dash reset, right? Which means that right now you gotta kill the ult chase you, boom, you get out after a kill, right? Or, on the other hand, what a lot of time ends up happening, especially in higher ranks or for people who miss their shots, is that you get close, you shoot, everybody turns around, you can't get the kill, so you get out. Okay? So essentially, you would be punished for... You get punished for not using your dash appropriately. Now, you have to understand that there's a big damage difference between this. You see how much damage this does? Compared to this. This barely does any damage. So what does it teach players? This teaches players, I can mess up my dash, and now attack with melee, do no damage, and then get out. The problem with that is that it teaches you how to play Genji wrong. You will not try to get kills, you will just try to go for melees randomly like this, and then get saved. Even after a bit dash. So it encourages you to constantly dash in, borderline feed, get 2 melees in, hopefully get out. You understand? That's the problem. But when you do a melee, you have a very big animation, a very long animation of the melee. Instead, you would rather, of course, do the shurikens, because it does more damage and increases kill potential. So, not only it helps you get away with mistakes that you make, therefore you can't learn from it, or other people wouldn't be able to die from it, so you can punish bad players for their mistakes. It also doesn't really help you get any kills. Because what? You would use 2 melees and then dash again and make double the mistake? Of course not. You'll be lucky to even get alive by using 2 melees, because look how long it takes. Understand? That's the problem. It's not a useless perk. It's a perk that is gonna be way better than the Dragon Thirst, basically the lifesteal. It's gonna be a way better perk than lifesteal. But as I said, 1 second. Is that it will get you into a point where you play Genji fundamentally wrong, and that's where the problem is. You will play that perk will force you to play Genji wrong, and it will prevent you from improving as a player. That's the only problem that I have with it. Outside of that, it just kind of like dumbs down the character a bit. It makes the character easier. It makes the character get away with more. With mistakes. It makes it that it's going to be very, very hard for you to punish people that are making mistakes. Don't like the perk. I think that it seems like the devs here are completely out of touch of how their character is meant to be played. I think that it's not a good perk. Not a good perk. Unless you consider overpowered perks to be good. Tracer is not here yet. We still have some time to go. So we move on to Hanzo. Swift lunge. Arrow hits reduce the cooldown of lunge by up to 1 second based on charge. What does it mean based on charge? So basically, like if you charge up your bow and you hit a shot, you reduce the cooldown by 1. I think pretty damn good. I think it's a pretty good. So. Ironically, check out this irony here. You know what's the irony about this perk? Is that this perk is essentially telling you need to play Genji in the wrong way, make mistakes, and we're going to help you get away with the mistakes. But on the other hand, here they're saying you want to get close with Hanzo. Now, what is the danger of getting close with Hanzo? Is that people can shoot you. Now, why do you want to get close with Hanzo? Because you can reliably hit your shots with Hanzo. Projectiles are very difficult to hit from far away. Hit scans are easy to hit from far away, and that's why they have damage fall off. So, in all scenarios, when you play projectile heroes, you want to be relatively close to the enemies. Why? So you can reliably hit your shots. Now, what is the risk? Is that at the end of the day, Hanzo is very vulnerable. What saves him? The lunge. So, when people chase you, you can lunge or wall climb or whatever. So this perk is telling you, get close, you can use your lunge and continue hitting shots and get your lunge back faster so you can disengage more often. So you can just disengage faster. You understand? So that one is encourage you, get close and play Hanzo like it's meant to be played. But on the other hand, Genji is telling you, don't play Genji like it's meant to be played. Just be some dumbass who just dashes into enemies and just melees them, doesn't get the kill just to get a dash reset back for no reason. It's very interesting. It seems like two different people. Isn't it already pretty short? Yes, but one lunge doesn't necessarily save you a lot of times. And having another one is very, very helpful. So I think this is very, very... I like this. I actually like this one. It forces you to play aggressive. It forces you to play within range. And reward you for playing within range and doing damage, which essentially carries your games and helps you disengage from these aggressive positions. I like it. I actually like this one as well, but I think this one is going to teach you Overwatch way better. Or how to play Hanzo. Right? Pretty good overall. Very happy with that one. Also doesn't seem overpowered. It doesn't seem overpowered. It doesn't seem like it makes the character easier to play. I like it. Is this not effectively just a 3-second lunge instead of 4 seconds? Yeah, but like when you say 4 to 3, yeah, you have to understand that 1 second is a lot of time in a team fight, especially when you're playing aggressive. And also, it's 1 second for each hit. So if you hit twice, then it's 2 seconds all of a sudden. So moving on to Junkrat. Mind recycling. Killing blows with concussion mind restore 1 charge. I think that's one is a little bit crazy. I think that one is a little bit crazy, you know? I think that this one was used the most so far because this perk essentially meant your tower was unkillable most of the time and you would almost guarantee to get a kill with that one, which wasn't bad. But again, as I said, I'm not a big fan with perks that correlate with your ultimate because they're used once every minute and 15 seconds or minute and 30 seconds at best, right? And you want your... What determines the outcome of the matches is not what you do every minute and a half, but rather what you do every 5 seconds, every 10 seconds, right? So I think this one is actually pretty damn big. So why is that big? It's pretty straightforward. It's like a Genji dash. You don't have to decide, should I use my mine here to get a kill? Because if I use my mine here to get a kill, I'm gonna disengage. I can't disengage, right? But here, oh, somebody's low, let me throw a mine. I'm gonna have it back and I have disengage. So this is not OP, but it makes Junkrat more flexible and you have to kind of like think more often. You'll be able to do more consistent damage. I semi like it. It can be OP. It can be OP, but we'll have to see. Major. Bon Voyage. After launching with concussion mine, Junkrat gains 35 increased attack speed for 3 seconds. God damn it. Okay. I think it's pretty strong. I'm not gonna lie. 35 attack speed is pretty fast. 3 seconds a lot of time, which means that it's going to be about 2 clips, considering the speed. It's going to be a clip reload, half a clip maybe. And you have to understand that one of the ways to not die to a Junkrat, is that, or not the ways, what prevents you from dying consistently to a Junkrat is that he has a buffer time between his shots. So you can kind of dodge them. They're a projectile and it takes time for him to shoot them. So I think this one makes it very, very strong. I think this one almost guarantees a kill. I think this one is this one's OP. This one's OP. I don't see why it would take this one ever. Ever. I think this one is just an improvement of this one. Pretty crazy. And also, you have to bear in mind, you know the combo on this? So if you take the mind recycling with Bon Voyage, you understand how ridiculous that is? So use one mind to get into like a strong off angle, shoot, and then kill them when they're 1 HP. Like, because you shoot a lot, they're gonna explode in a second. And then you throw in mine combined with your damage, and then you get a kill with a mine, and you have a mine reset. So you can just keep doing this forever. You mine in, shoot, mine to get a kill, mine reset, mine in, get a kill. So you can just cycle this forever in a team fight. When I say forever, I mean like at least 2 times, which is insane. I think this combination of the new perks is insane. It's very obnoxious. Mei, skating rink. Allies within Blizzard gain 25 increased movement speed and heal for 50 health per second. Alright. I mean, it's not bad. I just don't... It's not bad, but I don't get it. I don't... Why does the movement speed matter necessarily? Like, the enemies are slowed anyways, and they're likely to be frozen. I don't see how the movement speed is just... The movement speed has no... Like, there's no reason. It just... so much... Like, it's so over the top. There's no reason to do that. They heal 50 health per second. The enemies are busy running away anyways. They're not going to shoot back. But, like, getting healed is a little bit obnoxious. It's just... It's... Double jumping creates a small ice pillar that launches Mei into the air. So you see what's interesting about this is that Mei, do you guys remember where I talk about heroes and their cooldowns and how every single hero has a cooldown that helps them disengage? Right? Genji has a dash, Cass has a roll, Soldier has a sprint, Torb has his sprint. Tracer has blink and recall. Ashe has coach gun, etc., etc. The only one that didn't have a movement ability was Mei, and now they added the movement ability. I'm talking about DPSs. Not supports. I'm talking about DPSs. So DPS is inherently going to play aggressive, right? Which means that he needs to have a movement ability to be able to catch onto enemies that are trying to run away, but more importantly, more frequently, he will need a movement ability to disengage after he's aggressive, to save his life, right? So Mei was kind of the exception to the rule. This uses your wall cooldown. It actually uses your wall cooldown. If it uses your wall cooldown, it's not that great. If it doesn't use your wall cooldown, it's insane. If it doesn't use your wall cooldown, that perk is actually insane. It's really good. Because it helps you basically disengage and also take crazy off angle without the use of the wall. But if you have to use your wall for that, nah, it's not so good. It just half your wall cooldown? Okay, that's pretty alright. So this kind of helps you disengage. So the way this would work is that your wall sometimes saves your life, but I think a movement ability is going to help you get disengaged way more frequently, especially when you're playing against things that can bypass your wall easily. So most of the time when you engage, you're going to use your wall regardless. I think the skating ring perk is so over the top, you really don't need that. It just like somebody said, I think it said it like pretty accurately, it's a buff for the sake of a buff. There's no need to, like, Blizzard doesn't need a buff. It's okay. It's don't need that. I would just use that. It makes Mei a little bit more versatile. That's all. Pharah, major perk Sky Spy, concussive. Concussive blast reveals targets to Pharah for 3 seconds. During this, the next direct rocket launcher hit per target deals 30% extra damage. How much is a direct rocket? How much is a rocket direct on Pharah? Like, at least 120. 120, 30%, it's 36, 120, 156. Dude, you can almost like dude, it's with a mercy pocket, you one-shot a tracer. It's insane. Now, yes, you're thinking it's direct rockets, but like when people are usually stacked up, and also like when you use concussive blast on them, especially when you kind of put them into a corner, it's pretty easy to hit direct rockets. It's insane damage. I think the fuel storage is actually pretty damn nice, right? It's pretty damn nice, but yeah, I mean, I think there's a case use for both. I think this one is going to be very, very strong. More damage, more carry potential. You have to remember, more damage, more carry potential. And this is also going to help you. learn Pharah better, because this will force you to think how that you want to constantly use your concussive blast, and also force you to be more aggressive, in short, which is really good. With a Mercy Pocket, it's gonna be insane. It's just insane. It's not an insane perk, it's a pretty good perk, because the concussing blast is also a good disengage ability. Yeah, the wall hacks is what makes it strong. If there was no wall hacks, for example, it would be pretty damn strong. It would be pretty damn strong. But like, how would you know that you hit the concussion blast on people? I think they could have had like a little bit of effect, like a blue aura around them to know that they're hit with a concussive blast. But the reveal is very, very strong. It's very strong. I mean, I kind of like that though. I kind of like that. Reaper. Shadow Blink. Shadow steps, cast time, and cooldown are 25% faster. But the range is reduced by 25%. No, it's such a point. What is that perk? What? 25% faster? What's the cooldown of that? 8 seconds, give or take? This seems like a nerf. I'm not gonna lie. What's good about this perk? What's good about this perk is that you can get to really strong off angles. You can cross big sections of the map. Reducing the range is not good. Yeah, cast time, it doesn't matter. Cast time, it has a pretty short cast time anyways. It doesn't need shorter cast time. It's pointless. This perk is pretty bad. I would not recommend taking this perk ever. It's actually, it's pretty big nerf. I think cast time and cooldown decrease doesn't really matter, because the cycle is this. You TP behind them, you shoot, you wraith out, and by the time you do this thing, you will have your TP anyways. You will have your TP back anyways. It's pointless. You need to have the range. The range is more important than the cast time and cooldown. The cast time is already pretty short anyways. Pointless. I don't see the point to use that. I think this one is also not amazing, but it will be way better. Moving on. Sojourn. Sojourn. Minor perk. Deceleration field. Enemies hit by the disruptor shot are slowed by 25%. So release Sojourn. I don't know how many of you played when Sojourn was released, but that was how it was originally. The disruptor shot basically slowed you down regardless. I think this is completely broken. This is so broken. The reason, dude, when Sojourn was released, it was so broken because what it did to you is that you have a railgun, you click either slow, then you hit them in the head, combined with the damage that it does. It's insane. It's insane. I was thinking, you know what would be ridiculous if it was combined with the major perk that it sticks to enemies, or like with a minor perk that it sticks to enemies, but I realized that it's instead of that. Either way. Yeah, that's a very, very strong perk. I think that it's going to be way better than the overcharged. I think that if you slow enemies with your ult, insanity. I think it's it's an obnoxious perk. It's so broken. Friction. So I would just take this every single time. So if you had to stick with that, it would be insane. It would be insane because everybody around would be slowed. It's insane. I think overcharge is still better. It's team wipe, especially with nano. The thing is, that's what you're not thinking about. Your ultimate, you're gonna charge it once every. You have to understand. Your ultimate, you are likely to get a kill regardless. Nano, not nano, it doesn't really matter. You're likely to get a kill regardless of what happens. You have a big advantage, right? Regardless of the plus 150. But this allows you to basically get very high likely to get a kill every, let's say, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. This allows you to get a kill every minute and a half. This allows you to get a kill every 50 seconds. Very obvious choice here. Very obvious choice here. This also allows you to more reliably hit your right clicks. Why? Because they're slowed. Less likely to miss when they're slowed. It's insane. What is the cooldown of that thing? What is it, like 10 seconds, 12 seconds? So again, makes character easier to play and stronger by a large margin. Not cool. Not a big fan. Still would use it 10 out of 10 times. When I say, wait, I have to understand. When I say I'm not a big fan, my opinion is divided in two categories. You have to understand, this is a given. What the perks that we're seeing right now are a given. They're gonna be tomorrow. They're gonna be released tomorrow. I am here to tell you what perks are going to be strong and you should probably use most of the time, right? But on the other hand, I don't like the direction of the perks. So like idealistically, I would not like to have these perks because I think they make characters easier to play, which means it's going to be harder for you to punish the enemies that are making big mistakes, which means it's going to be harder for you to have carry potential, right? And also less rewarding for you when you make a play because they basically set up the play to be easy for you, but that's beyond the point. But on the other hand, like that's what's going to happen tomorrow. So I kind of have to help you out here, give you a little bit of value and tell you what I think is strong, what I think is weak. So you can start carrying more games and not get left behind. So friction generators with a major perk, while sliding power slide generates up to 50 energy. Oh, no. It's not, dude. You know what's insane? The minor perk is way better than major perk. How is that possible? What? Double slide is so much better. Double slide means you can play significantly more aggressively and less likely to die. Charging up 50 is not worth the cooldown. Charging up 50 is something you can do almost instantly. I would not take the dual thrusters, the friction generators almost ever. I think even as a minor perk, I would not use that. So, dual thrusters any given time. Pretty bad perk. So, like, it's so interesting that some perks, minor perks are absolutely overpowered, way better than major perks. Some major perks are excessively OP. And then you have some minor and major perks that are so bad. Like the power creep is so inconsistent, but I'm assuming that the power creep is also for characters that are not as popular and not that OP, I guess. But I would say that Junkrat is a very, very strong character. The only reason why Junkrat is not considered to be a strong character is because people just generally don't play him. Like if you have ever seen Junkrats in high lobbies, holy shit, they're so annoying to face. So difficult to face. All right, moving on to Soldier 76. Tactical salvo helix rocket cooldown is reduced by 80% during tactical visor. Okay, that's not crazy. Nah, that's not crazy. I mean, the problem with like I was reading that, I was like, helix rocket is cooled by 80%. I was like, what? And then tactical visor. Yeah. So yeah, I would still use that one. I think that the fact that you can just kind of cycle between shooting and gain 15 ammo is way better than this. Why? Because when you use tactical visor, people are gonna run away regardless. They're gonna pull up their shield and stuff. So it's not like helix rocket's gonna be that big of a deal. I don't think it's worth it for a minute and a half. I think this one is way better consistently because you can do way more damage with this over time. So way better. Steam Pack got big changes. Interesting. Why didn't they mention it here? Steam Pack and Shield Training. Sprint speed is increased by 20% and reload can be performed while sprint is active. To be honest, I usually took this one. I found this to be fairly useful. But you guys were saying that this got changes. So let's say Steam Pack replaced Biotic Field. On use, Soldier 76 heals for 30 seconds per second. How much does it heal Biotic Field per second? And 20% increase attack speed for 5 seconds. That's actually pretty insane. That is actually very, very strong. If you combine these two with a helix rocket, so you would shoot, helix rocket shoot, it's so much damage. So like it's, yeah, so it just does 10 less healing per second. Sorry, 10 less healing per second. Yeah, it's actually pretty it's not bad. It's pretty good. It's good, but it's not amazing, you know? The thing with the reason why this is good, is because it allows you to get in and out way better. You understand? This allows you to get in and out way smoother. This does less healing for you, so it means you can't stay as long, because you do, like, even the biotic field, people are going to kill you through biotic field, so you wouldn't be able to stay that long in biotic field anyways. This makes that it can't stand the same spot for too long anyways. The attack speed is nice, but I don't know. I think that the sprint increase by 20% is still going to be better. What's the cooldown on it? Yeah, that's the big thing. Biotic field has a pretty big cooldown. I think like 12 or 14 seconds. 15, yeah, so yeah, 15. Once every 15 seconds, yeah, that kind of kills it. I think that this agility training is still better. It's a better perk just because of 20% movement speed. And you essentially don't have downtime. Because you run so fast, you can run away fast. When people chase you, you get away from them, and you can get into positions and off angles and flex so quickly. So quickly. And also, you don't lose on uptime because you just reload while you're running. It's actually so, it's very strong, in short. Yeah, I wouldn't use Steam Pack. I wouldn't use Steam Pack, to be honest. Sombra, Adept Hacker. Hacked health packs provide up to 50 overhealth to Sombra. Wait, hack can be used while invisible. Successful hacks increase duration of stealth by 2 seconds. Wait, was this before like that? They didn't change this. That's not new, but this one is way better. Trigger passive regeneration when you use your translocator. Way better. Way better. I wouldn't use that a single time. Also, like, what does it teach you? Stay invisible and hack people? Lame. Hacked health packs provide up to 50 overhealth to Sombra. Now, 50 overhealth is not that bad. The question is, hitting a hacked enemy with virus spreads virus to enemies within 8 meters. I think that this one is still better. I think 50 overhealth is not crazy. Like the problem with 50 overhealth is that it's not amazing. So this one also builds EMP faster, does more damage. Damage carries games. This gives you 50 overhealth, which is not amazing. 50 overhealth, like, especially with all the minor and major perks, 50 health is nothing. Just gets destroyed instantly. Not a big fan of that. I still would use this one 10 out of 10 times. Does the virus damage loading targets with a major perk? Yeah. It will spare Sombra a few trays that could be assassinations. I don't even know what that means, bro. I know it sounds cool, but practically, this is way better. That's what I mean. The spread virus. And 8 meters is a pretty large range. People usually stick together, especially support backlines where the people that you engage. They also changed Genji Dash major perk, how it works. Let me see. Which one? What replacement do you suggest for cutting Swift? No, I wouldn't replace it. I think it's a good perk. I think that it's a good perk. I think that you should just pay attention that you don't play this game of I go and melee people. You play Genji the way it's meant to be played. It's just that in between the shurikens, you would want to use your melee to get a cooldown faster. That's all. The only change this does for you is that when you try to kill somebody, try to add melee at the end and try to kill them with a melee. That's all. But don't go with be a melee bot and attack people here and do like 30 damage instead of using your shurikens. Hello, Swiss. All right, moving on. Symmetra. Blade twisting, it used to be if they were half HP. It's half HP now, but they said it. Yeah, okay. Okay. Kill, resets, dash regardless, so just weird in general. Yeah, that's the thing. Is that people now will just dash into enemies and melee them to get a dash reset instead of trying to kill them and get dash reset. That's pretty brutal. Anyways, Symmetra. Hovering barrier. Teleporter gains the option to create a forward moving barrier instead. Pressing E again slows down the barrier's movement. So like old Symmetra. Do you guys remember old Overwatch 1 Symmetra? I don't know how many of you played Overwatch 1 Symmetra. Like your E ability, your teleporter was the ultimate, and you could place a shield that is moving forward pretty slowly. I'm not gonna lie, the shield was pretty damn garbage. It's not amazing. Wait, teleporter gains an ability. So does that mean that when you TP, it puts a shield in front of teleporter and moves slowly, or you have to decide between teleporter and shield? It's either or. Okay, like teleporter is what makes Symmetra good. Symmetra with no teleporter is actually quite a garbage hero. The reason why Symmetra is good is because of teleporter. You can create angles, you can close distance, you can run away. You can do so much with a teleporter. I would never, literally 0 out of 10 times, I would choose a shield over a teleporter. Like you might think, but what if they're shooting at me? Yeah, teleport out. Teleporter, dude, like why would you ever choose that perk? And also with the shield battery, you regenerate 20 shields per second while within 10 meters of your radius. You don't understand. You will consistently use your teleporter on Symmetra. You will fight a lot of people from strong positions with a teleporter. Having this to regenerate your shield while fighting is incredible. I think that the hovering barrier one is so bad. Like some of the major perks and minor, like some of the perks are so OP, and then you get to this. And when you get to this, it's like it makes me think, and I'm gonna be critical here. It makes me think: do Blizzard even understand what makes the characters that they create strong? Is it me who like? Am I just so much of a genius that I'm the only person who understands that the reason why Symmetra is good is because of her TP? So you decide to make people choose between a TP, which is her best ability, to an ability that is so underwhelming? It doesn't replace? Yeah, but you have to choose either or. Either or. So if you use that, you can use TP. So like if you use a shield, you have now your TP is on cooldown, which means that now when your TP is on cooldown, you can create off angles, you can play aggressively, you can disengage. Not good. It's not good. Just not good. Another major perk, would be like, for example, I think so. I think a major perk, for example, could be if you hit people with your right click, you automatically charge them. You get your full charge up to your right click. So what I mean, so when you hit a right click, when you hit the secondary fire, the projectile on somebody, when it's fully charged, when you shoot at them with the beam, your beam is already at the highest level instead of that increases over time. I think that would be a better major perk. I think it will be strong. So what you would do is that you would take a TP, right click, and then just start beaming them. 4th level of damage, that would be insane. The microwave 4th level of damage, that would be so OP. But like, if you could hit a right click on somebody and then beam them down, you automatically go to level 3. I think that would be a good major perk, for example. Yeah, the extra TP range was kind of broken. I'm not gonna lie. The extra TP range was very, very, very strong. But I think the shield is so bad. Or stop Illari ulti, dude. Illari ults. What do you do? Put TP to cover. All right. Torbjorn. Hammer time. Move 20% faster while 4 jammers equipped. That's Counter Strike, bro. You pulled the knife to run faster. That I like that. You know, so Torbjorn, the problem with Torbjorn is that it doesn't have a reliable movement ability. Torbjorn, his movement ability is the overload. You run fast. The problem is that it's a very big cooldown, and you want to use that. You want to use it when you're actually fighting, when you're in danger, when you're actually trying to do the most amount of damage. That perk actually kind of makes Torbjorn viable. I think this perk is actually legit. I like it. I like it. I like this perk. I generally like it. It means now you can just you can get to off angles and disengage more often. Yeah, it's pretty good. I like that perk. 20% is quite a lot. 20% is pretty fast. It's pretty fast. The other one is extremely good. Not really. Not really. It's not amazing. Overload is a very, very long cooldown. And also, like, most of the time you wouldn't need to... The reload is so fast regardless, so it's... On overload, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, just reload. Then you reload fast. You have the increased reload speed anyways. Whatever. Yeah, I like that. You know that one, that perk I can say, it's cute. You know what I mean? It's cute. It's nice. All right, Tracer. What? Miter perk melee hits grants 20 ammo? What? Wow. Dude, that is insane. You don't... Even if it was a major perk, I was like, whoa. You know, like, even if it was a major perk, I was like, whoa, what the hell? Minor perk is insane. Now, the health pack restore 1 blink charge is actually pretty damn good, right? It's good. But this one? Wait. Wait, let me think. Let me think. No, it's like I thought about it. I was like, is it actually open? Like, is it actually strong? Because you know you reload pretty fast on Tracer, right? But when you're fighting now, the thing is when you're fighting now, is that when you finish your clip, you go for the blink melee, right? And then you just continue shooting. So like every time that you're fighting, you just go for the blink melee at the end, and you just continue shooting. The thing is, when do usually people do the blink melee, right? Is when they need to reload, so they go for the blink melee when people are low. So now they don't have to reload, and by the time they reload, people can disengage. You know, use a lamp, use a cooldown. Now you blink melee, it's actually very strong. And when you combine it with recall restores 2 blink charges, oh damn, yeah. You know what? You know what's funny? The minor perk gives you 20 ammo, but the major perk gives you 20 ammo that decays over time. Yeah, like how is the minor perk significantly better than this one? And also, who uses that one? Grants 50 overhealth and 20 ammo decays over time. It's so bad. This one is so much better. The flashback is so much more useful, so much better. Helps you disengage, help you after recall disengage or continue engaging. I think that the melee hit grants 20 ammo is very, very strong. It's very strong. Because you would finish a clip, go blink melee, continue shooting. That's a kill. That's a kill. Gotta miss the extended pulse bomb range. You know, I didn't like the extended pulse bomb range. The reason why I didn't like the extended pulse bomb range is because pulse bomb is one of those abilities that if you stick it, technically people die. You know, it used to be like that. But now you have Stuzu, Immortality, Field TP, 5,000 things that just block pulse bomb. Your pulse bomb, like in Season 17 of Overwatch, is quite useless, yeah? But at least it was kind of a skill ability. You had to actually stick it properly. You know, it felt good when you did the sticky bomb, right? But now you miss by like 5 kilometers and all of a sudden people explode. It rewards noobs. So like you manage to dodge, like first you try to stick, I dodge. Not really. Psych. Don't like that. I would take that. I would want to try that. I think the health pack restores one blink is very useful, but I still think that maybe it's not as OP as it seemed like it is. Maybe I'm hyping it up a little bit too much because this one is very, very useful. But it might be. So it's either going to be not as OP as people think or extremely OP. There's no in between though. Venture. OP hero. Venture OP hero. Deep burrow, drill dash distance is 50% longer while burrowed. That is very strong. Okay. Wall tectonic shock is active. Cooldown's refresh 300% faster. Not this one is gonna be way better. This is gonna be way better. The thing with Venture is that the reason why Venture is so overpowered at a lot of maps is because she can close distances on you so quickly without you being able to do anything about it, right? And now she can close even more distance on you quickly. So, you sit across the map? Doesn't matter, I still get to you. Pretty lame. So basically, she can get to any position of the map without worrying about taking any damage. Smart Extender empowers Smart Extravator with E to increase his maximum projectile range by 100% for 4 seconds. So basically, she becomes a long range hero. Yeah, it's pretty busted. I'm thinking because you would want to close the distance regardless on people. I'll tell you where the cycle is insane. I'll explain to you where the cycle is insane. So, first of all, how long the cooldown will be on that? That is important to know. Right? That is important to know. So what you would do, you go underground, you pop, right? And then you drill to get out. And when you drill to get out and you're waiting for your bird to come back, you just use that ability and shoot them from far away. Go in, get out, shoot them from far away. It's just non-stop damage. You go in, abilities explode on them, do burst damage, get out, you're not killable anymore, and now you do a long-range shots. Not killable far away, still doing damage. It's insane. It's an insane cycle. Venture is gonna be obnoxiously broken. I'm not gonna lie. Venture is gonna be obnoxiously broken. I would choose these two new perks 10 out of 10 times. Very, very strong. This one is not that useful. 30 resolve shield is okay, but your ability is to give you enough resolve shield. This helps you have continuous uptime without losing on any damage ever. No damage fall off. There are no damage fall off on projectiles. Yeah, that's a Venture, by the way, guys, is a permaban. Venture is a permaban. Venture is obnoxiously overpowered. Widowmaker. Seeker Mine. Venom Mine now fires a poison. Wait, first of all, scope shots cost 3 instead of 5. That's not bad. Scope shot charges 100% faster for 2 seconds after using grappling hook. Oh, wait, they changed this. It used to be with the ultimate. Scope shots charge 100% faster for 2 seconds after using grappling hook. Yeah, I don't see how that's useful. It's kind of pointless. Grappling hook is a disengage ability, not shoot fast ability. It's pointless. I don't like this one. This one is better. You can just shoot more, have more uptime. No need to reload that much. Venomine now fires poison darts to enemies within 10 meters and remains active after triggered. You know, I've the way I thought how to play Widowmaker in Ranked Up Academy for a very, very long time, at least 2 years now, is that I consider Venomine to be kind of like a useless ability. So the way people, it's not useless ability, more underutilized ability, right? The way people use the Venomine is they put it on flank routes, and then if a flanker goes there, you know he goes there. But most of the time, they will grab a health pack, and also you can hear footsteps. So it's kind of like most of the time, people are not going to step on your Venomine anyways. Like 90% of the time, people don't step on your Venomines. So what I thought, Ranked Up Academy player, what you should do with a Venomine is kind of throw it around where people are going to be. Don't just throw it at enemies in front of their face so they destroy it, but, you know, throw it around the fight. So, like, if you hit a headshot, somebody barely has any HP, the Venomine kind of kills him. It does damage over time. It marks them. It's helpful. So this one kind of forces you to throw it at the enemies, which is kind of nice. But I still think that the scope shots hit reduce grappling hook cooldown by 4 seconds. It's very, very strong ability. The weakness of Widowmaker is her disengage ability. She has a grappling hook, but it's a very long cooldown. But if you manage to use grappling hook and then like shoot somebody in the head, you're more likely to disengage. I think it's a pretty good perk. But I wouldn't already, what's the word I'm looking for? I wouldn't discredit this one. I would try this. I think this is gonna be pretty good. It doesn't seem like that strong on paper, but it could be good. So I would try it out at the beginning and see if it's better than this one. Because this one is not amazing, but it's alright. But this one is pretty good. Discount, wouldn't discount, yeah. Marking an angle for free is kind of nuts. Like, you see, the problem with a lot of the player base, and I say this like kind of, I hope you don't take offense to this, is that the player base is stuck in theory. What do I mean by that? Dude, marking an angle is kind of nuts, but if you use the Symmetra shield when Illari ultis and you block it, it's so amazing. Yeah, but that doesn't happen 90% of the time. That doesn't happen the vast majority of the game. So why would you want to have something that works like 5 to 10% of the time instead of something that works 90% of the time? Makes no sense. That's why, like, the people who are stuck in the theoretical phase are not, they either don't play the game, and then I don't blame them for being ignorant about these things, or they are so far up in their theory is that they have a really, really hard time improving at the game, because what their imagination says compared to what is reality, there's a very big gap in between. Do what works 90% of the time. Don't think at what situation this could be useful, because if you already think at what situation this could be useful, means already that that's not going to be useful 90% of the time. Anyways, Ana. Okay. First of all, I'm glad they got rid of the double nano boost. Look, I love Ana. I like to play Ana. I loved the double nano, but I think that the only people who love double nano are Ana players. If you played against Ana and she double nanos, you understand that she cannot die, and also you get 2 tapped in a second. Okay? You know what I mean? So I think that as an Ana player, it was a little bit OP. Let's see what they changed it with. So perks. No double nade. Hey! Speed serum. Nano boost grants 40% movement speed to both Ana and her target. That's a minor perk. That's a minor perk. Reaper. Insane. Reinhardt. Pretty good. What else? Reaper insane. That, by the way, that how it used to be long ago. Like in Overwatch 1, the first days of Overwatch 1, you would nano boost, they would get a movement speed increase. Ramattra, holy hell. That's gonna be strong. The double nade was good. You would pick double nade over this like 9 out of 10 times, right? But now you don't have the double nade, but I think this one is very good. So like it's the movement speed is not as obnoxious as double nano, right? But it helps you live. So when you nano somebody, you can move to an off angle immediately to follow up, or you can disengage. So it's pretty damn good. I like that. I kind of like that. Biotic bounce. After exploding, Bionic Grenade bounce explodes again after 60. Oh, so like they made the double nade into a major perk? Okay. So yeah, you will pick the two new ones. I mean, the new one is an old one, but you will pick the bounce nade because it's amazing. It's really good. The reason why it's really good is because even sometimes you miss the nade, you hit the nade. You can sometimes in like small buildings, you can double nade yourself for healing. You can double nade the enemies. It does a lot of damage. Double nade is very, very good across the board. The second nade doesn't anti-buff. No, it doesn't say so. It seems like it's just the previous minor perk. That's all. Wait, it explodes for 60. You're right. It has no more damage now and healing. Because now, before somebody, you said that it was 25. 25, yeah. The second one wasn't... Yeah, that one is pretty good. The more damage, pretty good. The previous ones used to. I think this one does as well. The thing is, like, you know, when they released the perk of the headshots on Ana, everybody was so stoked, including myself. But after you try it for 3 times, you realize that the headshot perk is not good. The only time you would maybe use the headshot perk is against immobile characters that are very easy to hit. It's also 50%, you're right, 50% increase, not double. It's so hard to hit headshots on enemies that move quickly. But when you play against immobile compositions, you're gonna do so much damage, you're gonna get your nano so frequently that the double nano would be so much better. I think that the Headhunter needs a rework. What they need to do with the Headhunter is what I think would be amazing. I think it would be very strong. But what could be very good is that purpled enemies take like double damage. Enemies that are purple take double damage. That would be a very good major perk, in my opinion. Replace it with the Headhunter. Purpled enemies take double the damage. Okay, let's not say double damage. Let's say like 50% increase. 70% increase. 50 to 70% increase. So how much does a nade hit? 70 damage, right? No, not 70. Nade is like 60 or 80, I don't remember. Oh, 75. 75. 75, so that means 50% 75 is 37 and a half. Let's say 37. Guys, it's not that crazy. 75 and 37, what? It's like 110. 50% is nothing. What are you talking about? It's nothing. Wait, no, no, sorry. My bad. 75 and 35 and 70. So 105 and 75. 180. Actually, no, that would be very, very strong. Okay, so let's say 30% when you're purple. Discord orb on everyone you anti? Yeah, but like Discord orb lasts forever. Almost. And anti lasts for like what, 3 seconds? No, it's okay. So 75 with a nade, that's a given, right? And now, if we have 50% increase on 70 shots, it's essentially, it does 105 damage. So you hit a nade for 75, and you do 105 damage per shot yourself. Is it for everyone shooting or just Diana? I think you could do just Diana. Just Diana would be good. 50%, so you do 105 damage, 580, 80, 180. So essentially, you do 180. If you nade and hit somebody, it's 180 damage. So it means that it's 2 tap. So it's nade and 2 shots, like it used to be. That's pretty good. Okay, tell me if it's not amazing. If you are picking major perk, you have 50% increase only for Ana. 50% increase only for Ana on naded targets. So every time you nade, you do 50% increased damage. That's nade, shot, 180 damage, one more shot. That's another like 105, and you kill somebody. So nade and 2 tap. That's how it used to be before Season 9. Also, will encourage Ana players to finally do some damage, for God's sake. Baptiste, Biotic Reloader. Hitting an entire 3-round burst reloads a healing projectile. Healing projectile direct hits reload. What? Okay, that one is insane. Every time you hit a direct heal, you reload your gun by 3 bullets, and every time you hit people with enemies, you reload healing. No downtime. Boom, 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 boom. Literally, you can have no downtime by Baptiste. It's an insane cycle. That one is insane. So they also using any ability triggers Baptiste's shoulder turret, periodically firing up 3 shots at allies, each restoring 25 health. So what they used to do, that used to work with amplification matrix. So now it's with every ability. The problem is, I'll tell you why it's not so good. On the amplification matrix, it was so bad because, I'm just once every ultimate. But when you think about it, even with the abilities, the Baptiste's abilities have such a long cooldown that it doesn't really matter. Immortality Field is like a half a minute cooldown. And it keeps people alive anyways. And when you click shift, most of the time, it keeps people alive anyways. If you combine your healing, I think it's just over the top. I would take this 10 out of 10 times. Yeah, I would take this. The Biotic Roll is pretty good. Essentially, if you don't randomly spam your shots for no reason, and you actually try to aim at the characters, all of a sudden you can just have way more uptime. You can do more damage and more healing together. No longer... So the major, they changed it as well. Baptiste with 30% attack speed for 4 seconds, which is nice. It no longer grants double healing to allies before half health. Okay, no longer grants double healing to allies before half health. It's a very, very big nerf, but I think that was very, very strong. I think that 30% attack speed for 4 seconds, it's kind of alright. It's okay. But I still think this rocket boots saved my life so many times. Are you playing after this? Yeah, a little bit. I mean, hopefully. I don't know where I'm going to end. One second. So this rocket boots perk saved my life so many times that I think that it would be, this is a no-brainer. This is kind of nice on paper, but the rocket boot just is utilized way more. It saves your life. It gets you into angles way better. Very nice. Mobility is king. You're correct. You're correct. Mobility is king. Yes. Brigitte. Combat Medic. Melee attacks reduce the cooldown of repair pack by 0.5 seconds. Uptime, Inspire. Triggering Inspire. Guys, if you play, like I teach you how to play Brigitte, which means constantly triggering Inspire, which means you're going to be swinging on the enemies a lot, means that you're going to have infinite repair packs. That's pretty incredible when you think about it. Inspire lasts 3 seconds longer when activated by Whip Shot. You see, The problem with this perk is that it seems like when you read it, it seems insane. Extra 3 seconds of Inspire and healing, but regardless, when you play Brig, you're gonna constantly keep your Inspire active. So the extra 3 seconds do nothing for you because your Inspire is active anyways all the time. This one is very, very good, and it also complements the way I teach you how to play, which is essentially trigger Inspire all the time. And you will trigger Inspire a lot by attacking the enemies and disengaging with your Shield Bash. Inspiring Strike. Shield Bash grants 30% increased movement speed for 2 seconds. Inspire Healing is instant when activated by Shield Bash. Okay. So over Inspire instead of overtime? Yeah, the thing is, it's not bad. But let me tell you something here. Okay? I don't think it's better than the second perk. And also, when people use Inspire Healing is instant when activating Shield Bash, is when you hit people with the Shield Bash, then there's triggers Inspire when you hit them with a Shield Bash. Now, that's a problem, and I'll tell you why that is a problem, right? The problem with that is that you want to use your Shield Bash as a disengage ability most of the time. You will very rarely hit people with a Shield Bash. Very rarely. And that is why it's not that useful. It has 30% increased movement speed, which is good when you disengage, but a Shield Bash regardless needs to put you already out of danger. And that's why I think the Whiplash is going to be way better most of the time, because more damage, more kill potential. More kill potential means more carry potential, right? I think that the only time you would pick Inspiring Strike over Whiplash is when you play very long distance maps where there's there's big open areas that you fight around that you're not going to whip shot enemies into walls, but I can't even think of maps like that. The only place I can think of is Junkrat First Point. I think the only one I can think of is Junkrat First Point. No, actually, the entire Junkrat. Outside of that, nah. Not a big fan of that one. I think Whiplash is better. All right. Combat Medic? Where are you talking? You talking about this one? What is the Combat Medic? Anyways, Illari. Solar Flare. Press right click while using Solar Rifle Healing Beam to consume all energy, healing allies in front of Illari for up to 120 healing. What is healing allies in front of Illari for what up to? Why up to? But like, what is the criteria for that? Probably the amount of resources. Yeah, like it seems not good. First of all, right? First of all, Illari doesn't have a healing problem. Illari heals quite a lot. You don't need the burst healing. Like when did you ever notice that people die through Illari healing? You don't need the burst healing. I think it's pretty pointless. She has a distance problem. Yeah, but still you do the healing in front of Illari regardless. It doesn't go across the map. It doesn't really help with that anyways. But up to 120 healing with one burst of energy, you would heal a lot more than 120 if you just did it regularly. You heal everyone in front. Yeah, but like most of the time, you're not gonna heal multiple targets because you're not gonna be standing directly behind your team. You're gonna be creating an angle. I don't get it. I actually think it's bad. I think it's a nerf. I think it's pretty bad overall. The Sunburn, for example, is pretty good. Why is the Sunburn pretty good? It's because it kind of helps you deal. So when you are fighting flankers and you use your shift to get away, they still chase you. This kind of not prevents them from chasing you, but it definitely helps with them chasing you. It sometimes prevents them from helping you, from chasing you. It also helps you win a 1v1 way better. Sunburn will still be way better than Solar Flare, like 10 out of 10 times. Like some are so OP and some are literally nerfs, and I don't understand. I don't get it. Something like it's so. I mind fucked a bit. I'm not gonna lie. Blizzard is confusing me. Yeah, it's 1 meters each and highlights in front of you. That never happens, by the way. Juno, 2 major perks. Lift off, Martian overboots, can now triple jump. Okay. That seems very strong, I'm not gonna lie. Does that mean that you can do double with your shift? So if you have the major perk with a triple jump, if you click shift, can you go 2 levels or no? So this one actually triple jump is not bad. The reason why it's not bad is that it allows you to create really sneaky angles with your right click, and it also allows you to, if you triple jump and then use your flight, you can fly very, very high, right? And also you can just run away from a lot of situations. Faster Blaster, when glide boost is active, Medi Blaster fires continuously. Medi fires Blaster continuously means that there's no, it's not burst, it's not it's yeah, is that what it means? How long is the cooldown on glide boost? How long is the cooldown glide boost? Like 12? 10? 8? Okay. Okay, no, that's a very good perk. That's a very good perk. Like I was thinking about it. Like I didn't understand this. You know, at first I read it, I thought it was when I read it, I thought it was just that you don't have to reload. That doesn't seem that strong. But when you tell me it's not burst, that it just continues, it's insane. When it's 6 seconds on boosters and you can just shoot forever, it's actually pretty insane. You can do a lot of damage, you can do a lot of healing. I will take that 10 out of 10 times. The triple jump is kind of nice, but on the other hand, like double jump is definitely not, it's not that big of an advantage over double jump, you know? It doesn't that do anything crazy that the double jump can. So yeah, that one is way better. Kiriko, ready step. Finally, they took off double TP. Bear in mind, I'm a support main. I think the double TP was insanely broken. No one liked that. No one like. I felt like I could get away much more, and I played, and I did way more mistakes because I knew I could get away with it. I think it's ridiculous. Anyway, they changed it, so no more double TP. Okay. Swift Step grants Kiriko 40% attack speed, increased attack reload speed for 2 seconds. Now, what do you guys think is the problem with that? What do you guys think is the problem with that? With that perk? Exactly. If you use TP to escape, it doesn't help. And that is exactly how you would use your TP. You would TP to get out, not to get in, most of the time. You sometimes TP to get in when your team is playing full dive and they're diving and you want to dive with them. Yeah, sure. And that I grant will work. But still, like, not most of the time, it's pretty pointless. It doesn't do anything. Now, on the other hand, Protection Suture grants allies 100% increased cooldown recovery and 30% increased movement speed for 3 seconds. Which means that in short, this will bring a cooldown back for literally anybody, right? In 3 seconds. And increased movement speed is pretty good. I think that the Foxtrot is going to be way better. Like, it's not, I think. It's going to be way better. You can do 2 suits during ult now, so like used to be. Okay, so Foxtrot is way better. Ready Step is a pretty pointless ability because, again, it seems like Blizzard doesn't understand how their characters work. The way Kiriko works, the Swift Step helps her get out. When you get out, you don't need increased attack speed and reload speed. It's pointless because you're already not in a position to shoot. Perks are meant to change how you play. You see, now that is a big misconception because technically speaking, perks are meant to change how you play, but there is an objectively best way to play Overwatch. And that's why I say playstyles are not real. When I say playstyles are not real, I don't mean that you can't play in different ways. But there is one way that is better than the others. For example, doing damage, right, and healing is better than heal botting. Objectively, it's a better play style, you can say, right? There is one objective best way to play Overwatch. You need to do what gets you, essentially, kills, damage, and kills. That's how you win games. Whatever contributes to you getting damage and kills equals carry potential. So, when you pick the Ready Step perk, does it help you do damage and kill potential? On paper, yes. But why the answer is on paper and not practically? Because Swift Step allows you to disengage when you already are doing damage, so you can continue doing damage by not dying. If you pick this ability, it will force you to TP into the enemies and then die, which means you're not going to do damage over time. Perks are meant to complement the optimal way to play a hero, not change how to play at their foundation. Perfectly said. Perfectly said. Perks are meant to complement the optimal way to play instead of changing how they play fundamentally, and that is absolutely correct. They should enhance how you're supposed to play Overwatch on a great level, like on the best level that you can, each hero. The problem that I have with these perks is that some of them completely not change. They do change how you play, but they make you play objectively worse, and they shift how you're supposed to play fundamentally, which means every time you pick this perk, you're always going to play worse. Like how with the Genji perk. When you pick the Genji perk that you need to melee to get a dash back, it means that you're going to dash into enemies and melee them instead of getting close, using shurikens to do the most amount of damage, and then decide how you want to use your dash to either confirm the kill if you can, or if you can't, you disengage. The problem with doing melee is that 2 melees do 60 damage. No kill gives dash back. So you fucked up, you do 20, 60 damage, and then get out. It doesn't teach you how to play Genji. It makes you play suboptimally. That's why I don't like it. I would still pick that perk. But I would make sure that I'm gonna like add that on how I play Genji regardless. So like I'm gonna close the distance, try to shuriken, and then I'm gonna just add a melee there to get a shorter cooldown if I've dashed, if I've used my dash. That's all. 2 melees is 80 damage, whatever. By the time you do 80 damage like this in front of somebody's face, you're probably not in good shape. Lifeweaver, okay. Pedal power. Allies gain 25% attack speed while standing on a raised pedal platform. What? When this live tomorrow? I don't understand that. Allies gain 25 attack speed while standing on a raised pedal. This is such a lame perk. But I'll tell you something. This perk is the perfect representation of Lifeweaver. It's like you sit there and you're like, it's all right. It's not so good. That's pretty much what Lifeweaver is. Like, pedal platform most of the time is used to disengage. You would use pedal platform to protect yourself from people they chase you. Monkey jumps, you put pedal platform, you go up, monkey can't do anything, right? Reinhardt swings, you put pedal platform, Reinhardt cannot reach. Sometimes on rare, like, Xari uses grab, you put pedal platform. Orisa uses ulti, you put a pedal platform. Pedal platform is not for people to sit, stand at the same spot, and not move. In Overwatch, you need to move to do damage. You don't just sit on a pedal platform and not move. What you're gonna do with 25% attack speed, if you just stand on it, shoot, and then they just move out of the way. Pointless. The second one is way better. All right, Lucio. Wall riding empowers your next sound wave, increasing its knockback by 25% and damage by 50%. I don't hate it. I think, so there are two problems with this. Either it's fairly broken, because as a Lucio, you're supposed to wall ride all the time. But, when you say wall riding empowers your sound wave, the way you wall ride with people, right? The way you wall ride is that you don't slide on the wall and just hold it. You just like jump and jump and jump. The question is, are you supposed to slide continuously and then it charges it up? But when you say it builds up a resource, does it stop the resource when you detach from the wall? So if I were to do it slowly, does it build slowly or does it reset every time that I stop? That I drop from a wall? If that's the case, again, no reset, okay, it's pretty good. Okay, so if it's no reset, it's pretty good. It's a good addition, I like it. If it would reset, if you would get a reset on that, what it means that essentially you have to wall ride suboptimally and then it will get you killed more often than not. So I don't like it. But this way, it's pretty good. I like it. Amp it up is active during sound barrier. It's good. It's good, but sound barrier charges up very, very slowly, you know? The problem with this perk, the problem with perks that attach to your ultimates is that it's a perk that is only beneficial once every long time. And Amp It Up is probably one of the slowest building ultimates in the game, if not the slowest. So, and Sound Barrier, it also doesn't last that long. And I think that if you Sound Barrier, you click Amp It Up anyways, and you just go in. I don't think that you need to have it double Amp It Up, even though it seemed like it's strong. It is, but it's once in a while, so it's not amazing. So I think you would just pick that one over it. Okay, Mercy. Wait, the Mercy gains 100 over oath after Resurrect. Was that always the perk? Now we're gonna get to Rodok soon. It's all okay. Increases Mercy travel speed by 50% after canceling Guardian Angel. So after canceling Guardian Angel, I'm assuming when you click space? Is that what I mean? Is that what it means? Canceling or when you launch yourself forward? 50% increase on when you fly forward is pretty good. I think it's pretty good. I think this is kind of the overhealth after Resurrect is kind of pointless. Like most of the time, what's gonna happen with the Resurrect is that if you pull it off, usually you will die while trying to Resurrect. If you manage to pull it off, the likelihood of you dying post-Resurrect is not very likely. Sometimes it happens, but very rarely. And now usually you will die mid-Resurrect if your Resurrects are bad. So the 100 overhealth is not going to do anything for you anyways, right? And also, Resurrect is a very long cooldown. So it's not that big of a deal. But the Guardian Angel is a very short cooldown. And the 50% travel speed is pretty good. It's not bad. Helps you disengage more reliably. Sometimes helps you pistol people faster, ironically. Yeah, I think these ones are pretty much the same, right? Moira. Destruction's Divide. Matter perk. Coalescence can be toggled between pure healing and pure damage with 25% greater effect. You know. Like... That one is for the flanking Moiras, which is exactly how you should play, by the way. You just purely put it on damage mode unless somebody is absolutely critical and then you heal them. Yeah, that one is very, very strong. That is insane. Very good. I would take that every single time. Very good. Most of the time, you're gonna be doing damage with your Coalescence regardless, most of the time. And like worst case scenario, if somebody's close to dying, you just alternate. So what? This one is gonna be insanely broken. They're making they're making the easy heroes more insanely broken than they are. All the easy heroes are getting the crazy perks. I mean, not all, but some of them. This is insane. Come on, man. Destruction's divide. Reversal. Reactivating biotic orb reverses direction. Not so. You know, it's all right. Yeah, it's good. Like it's good. It's good. But most of the time, you want to be smart with how you utilize your orb. You want it to jump between walls, anyways, so it hits people regardless. It's all right. It's okay. Useful for 1v1s, kind of. But even in a 1v1, especially in the closed doors, you can just put your orb at like up and down bouncing. So Fade lasts 0.5 seconds longer and boosts jump height by 50%. You know, it's not a bad perk, but it's not amazing. It should be a major one. I think it should be like a minor one. It's okay. It's just okay. I would probably do the reverse biotic herb. I would probably reverse that. See, because the thing is that sometimes the geometry of maps is yeah, okay, I'll make a distinction here. When the maps don't have a lot of walls and they're more big open spaces, I would choose this. When the maps have small spaces, let's say Legion Tower, for example, right? Or King's Row, where the orb is gonna bounce back and forth around the corner anyways, I would choose the Phantom Step. But at the big one, the big open maps, I would choose this one. Why? Because it's gonna be a long time until it hits a wall from behind to bounce back, and the enemies are going to move. So when the orb gets behind them, you just pull it back. So not a lot of walls in the map, big open spaces, reversal. Maps that are more short, close quarters, big, small hallways, a lot of walls, Phantom Step. Wu Yang. All right. Gain 10 ammo and 33 healing resources when rushing toward is activated. We already talked about... That's not new. These are like what they came out with originally, right? Balance. When you deal damage with water orbs, increase restorative stream passive healing by 40% for 2 seconds. Restorative stream. Yeah, this one is pretty good. The second one. The gain 10 ammo and 33% healing resource when rushing toward is activated. Nah, you know, like no need. It's kind of pointless. This basically tells you if you do damage, you will heal more. So that's awesome, you know? Should do that. EVP and flow. Guardian Wave rewinds to its started location, deals 50% decreased damage while rewinding. This ability doesn't do tons of damage, but it does the increased healing, which is not bad, right? Simultaneously control 3 water orbs that deal 60% decreased damage and have 25 decrease in power explosion radius. You see, I tried that. It does a little bit more damage. I think that EVP and flow one is better. And I think that one is better because I think that one doesn't give you that big of an advantage. People say Wu Yang is like Zen. Do you agree? Are those people bronze? Anyways, let's look at the best hero in the game, Zenyatta. Transcendent Condemnation. While using Transcendence, apply Discord Orb to all enemies within range. Now, that is very strong. Don't get me wrong. It's very strong. However, let me present a counter argument. First off, you're not going to have your Transcendence super frequently. That's the first thing. Okay? That's the first thing. Second thing, Transcendence is the type of ultimate, right? Transcendence is the type of ultimate that you would rather not use unless you have to. Now, why is that? Because when you use Transcendence, you have 6 seconds that you can't shoot. So what you're saying in the next 6 seconds, guys, you shoot, I heal. And when has that ever worked, right? You would much rather do damage, which will contribute to you carrying the game, you know, than using Transcendence. And I'm gonna be honest, the Ascendance, the flying perk is really good. The flying perk gets you on such insane, surprising angles that contribute to kills. It's insane. I think that Ascendance is way better. I know that this one, everybody's freaking out about this one. They say, oh my god, it's so amazing, blah, blah, blah. Yes, on paper, but I still do think that the second one will be better. I think the only time this would be good is like when it's brawl against brawl. Like when you guys play like immobile compositions. It drops as soon as you leave range, yeah, which is lame, right? So, and it will force you into a bad habit of sticking your Transcendence inside the enemy team, and then you'll finish your Transcendence in the enemy team and then die. You're supposed to use the last 1 or 2 seconds to get out of range with your Transcendence to keep yourself safe. So it's not that good. Wouldn't say it's amazing. I would say that the Ascendance is better. Dual Harmony. So that one is kept as original. Gain second Harmony orb, but they both heal for 70% effectiveness. This one I kind of like. I like that one. Because this makes it that you actually, ironically, have to focus on healing even less. You know? 25 HP second is not bad. Like, you can put it on a Genji Tracer, you can put it on tank, you can put it on tank flanker, you can put a DPS, double DPS, it depends. Support, you can put it on support DPS, you know? I think that this one is pretty good. I like the first one. But it's not... Can you both on certain person? Probably not. And if you do double the healing, you also do... If you do double the healing, you also get more ult charge. The thing is, with this perk, is that it's a nice perk. But it's not crazy. It's not like you couldn't live without this perk, you know? Like, Zen as is very, very good. Like, this perk is just a little bit over the top. It doesn't add anything crazy extra. It's alright. I would try to do dual harmony. I would try that. I think that will be way more useful. I would like that. To try that. Because the problem with the previous orb is that you had to actually discord and shoot the enemies that are discorded to heal people, which was pretty bad. Doomfist, Aftershock. Enemies hit by seismic slam are slowed by 30% for 1.5 seconds. Isn't that the case anyways? What didn't the slam slow people anyways? Why is it a perk? Why is it a major perk? Wasn't it like that anyways? Only ult? So this is again basically, let me help the noobs. Okay? Let me help the noobs. So when I click E, now I can also hit my punch without people being able to run away. You know, not a big fan. Not gonna lie. Not a big fan of that because I think it will help you hit more punches. But what do you think the inherent problem with this is? What do you think the problem with this is, though? Encourages burning all cooldowns, correct. So like the thing about Doomfist and why he's somewhat feels oppressive is because he's unkillable if you play your cooldowns correctly. So what you would do, you either slam to get in and punch to get out, or you punch to get in and slam to get out. You don't want to use both to get in because then you're fucked. Right? I mean, you can block and then use an empowered punch to run away, right? But you don't really want to do that. You want to split your cooldowns and cycle them continuously, right? That's why I'm not a big fan of it. So what you're going to do is like you're going to go in slow and punch, and then you're going to still be inside enemy team and die. It will help your teammates secure kills, though. You're not incorrect, but let's be real here. How many times do you think you won because you helped your teammates with some sort of a cooldown compared to you taking the handles and doing it on your own, you know? Won't the slow help to hit mouse one doom shots? Yeah, but it would still, like, it's not that difficult to hit the mouse one shots anyways when you slam. But they changed the Moira ones. Hitting an enemy into a wall, rocket punch, reload hand cannon over fills ammo by 2. Yeah, that I know. The best defense grants 25 overall from elimination. The best defense? What the fuck is the best defense? I get it. The passive ability gives you shield. Grants 25 overall from eliminations, and its max overall is increased by 50. It's okay. It's alright. I mean, I guess it's good. How much does it do now without elimination? So when you click a right click, how much does it do now? How much does it give? I mean, I think it's better than the first one. I think the first one is kind of useless. You reload your shots fast anyways. Don't see how, like... But when you punch people into walls, you're gonna have 2 bullets anyway. So you wouldn't need to refill people because you engage with your punch. You engage with your punch. So that's kind of pointless. The first one is pointless. You engage with your punch, which means you're gonna have all the bullets anyways. So the second one would be good. Not a big fan of the Aftershock. I still think Power Matrix is better. Diva. Precision Fusion. Press R to reduce fusion. Wait. They did change some things, right? Eject rents. No, these are pretty normal, right? These are the original ones, or did they change them? Hitting an enemy with boosters increase duration by 0.5 seconds. I literally don't understand this perk at all. I don't get what this perk does. You don't want to fly around for long periods of time. That's kind of the whole point. You want to utilize Diva for short circuits of flying so you can do increased damage. The fly is short because it serves as a reposition or disengage. You don't need to fly for long periods of time. I think it's pretty lame perk. I think that you would rather, even if if I had the option of just that perk, I would not get it. Why? Because it forced me to fly into enemies for no reason. This one would be way better. Way better. Major. Okay, what did they change? Press R to reduce fusion cannon spread by 75% for 3 seconds. So there's no spread, which means that it's going to be more directed, so like more damage overall. Oh, wait, I thought it was missiles. My bad. Okay. How long is the cooldown on that, though? It's really, it's really good. It's really strong. It's really strong. It means that you can shoot from mid-range. You don't even have to get closer. It's really good. It's good. Because you would follow an enemy, shoot, they're half HP, you disengage, you go to a high ground, and then you just click R and continue shooting them from above. It's actually pretty insane. It's very strong. Very, very strong. Very strong. It's like Venture. It's like kind of the same concept with Venture. So basically with Venture, you go in with your cooldowns, get out with your drill, go in burrow, get out with drill, click ability that gives you long range, shoot. So basically you never have any downtime. You literally have 0 downtime. That increases chances of killing. It's pretty insane when I think about it. Hazard. Explosive impalements. Bunspur hits more targets with spikes. Quick melee and violent leap/detonate them for 40 explosive damage. Okay. Okay. So primary fire shift. Primary fire shift. 40 extra damage. That's a lot. That's like how he originally came out. You just like would one-shot you every single time. He would jump on you and just one-shot you. It's a very strong perk. Valiant Leap range is increased by 50%. Spikes, guard spikes, gain 20% lifesteal. I don't think you need the range that much, if I'm being honest. It could be used as explosive impalements, but I think that you should be able to hit your shift regardless without the increase. I think the spike guards, the lifesteal would be pretty useful a lot of times. Not amazing, but it's pretty good. So Jack Wall hits charge spike guard with 25 energy up to Jack Wall hits charge spike guard 25 energy up to nah. I think the thing is, I think this is good if you play for a pro team, you know. But even then, not really. Actually, never mind. Let me take it back. In the old situation, this one is better. Why? It does more damage. Why? One shots people. Why? One shots people means you win. It's pretty straightforward. This just keeps you alive. Keeping yourself alive without having the ability to counterattack. It's pretty pointless. Like it's just pointless. So actually, I think that you would do deep leap with explosive impalements sometimes. It depends on the map. If it's long range, then yeah, both of them. If it's not long range, the lifesteal is gonna help you just have more uptime in short. It's pretty good. Junker Queen, rampant charge, gain unstoppable. Gain unstoppable. What the fuck is unstoppable? What is unstoppable? Anyways, unstoppable and refresh all cooldowns when using Rampage. CC immune? Okay. So when you click your ult, you refresh all cooldowns and you can't be stunned, which is nice. It's really good. That's one of the weaknesses of Junkrat, but anything could stop her, which... I mean, sleep, fucking stun, this, and that, whatever. And the refreshing cooldown is actually nasty. Does that include shout? Wow. Yeah, that's a pretty broken ability, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, so yes, it's only once you use your ultimate. That being said, it's so broken that you... So the thing is, this... So usually I don't like to pick perks, right? That are ultimate oriented because you get it once every while, but it depends on how overwhelming and underwhelming the other one is. Commanding Shout Fury reloads Scattergun and increases allied reload speed by 50%. That's not strong. It's okay. Yeah, there's most of the time, like 90% of the time, people don't lose fights because they were reloading. And most of the time, like, your team is not going to be that much next to you. So it's not like Shout is going to... Like, you don't use Shout for your allies most of the time. You use it for yourself. So I think that the Rampant... Like, this one is amazing. It's a really good one. This, again, the exception to the rule. It's like the Nano perk with Ana. When recalling Jack Blade, its radius is increased by 100%. It deals 30 additional impact damage. That's pretty good because it also does the bleed effect. Carnage Impact gains 100% lifesteal. That is also pretty damn good. God damn it, wait. Let me think. Nah, I think the new one is better. I'll tell you why. I think that Carnage is a strong ability and the 100% lifesteal is good. That being said, the problem with that is that it's a strong ability without the crazy lifesteal, and also you would be trying to use it very often. But on the other hand, it will require you to constantly get close. Now, on the Jack Blade, even if you miss, you do a decent amount of damage with does bleed, which gives you help with damage. You know, help you get over health and lifesteal, which is really good. Does damage, which you can then follow up with everything else with your regular damage. And yeah, I think Carnage is fine. I would pick the new one. It's pretty good. I like it. Mauga. No one cares. No, I'm kidding. Pyromaniac. Igniting enemies with incendiary chain gun grants 50 overhealth. Don't you just love that? Don't you just love that? So like every time you click overrun, you go through enemies and you ignite them, you give 50 overhealth. So like each one gives you 50 overhealth, or it's just like max of 50? Overrun reloads up to 150 ammo while recharging. Most of the time, it's not a problem. I think that this one is way better. The 50 overhulls will help you do a little bit of tanking. Max 150, it's pretty insane. Because you would just like, you would ignite, run, at 150 health. You can also like circle around and hit enemies. Sometimes, it's pretty good. Yeah, I would choose that one. The new one is way better than the old one. The new ones are like pretty strong or very weak. Except the Torbjorn one. The Torbjorn one was pretty cute. 1 second.1 second, guys. Sorry. Okay. Orisa, defense protocol, regenerate 100 health per second while charging Terra Surge. So when you click your Q, essentially you get your health up, which is pretty good. Okay, that one is pretty good because it really saves your life. Because you can, so the thing is, like, the way you would use Orisa ulti a lot of the time is that you would wait until you're low and then use the ulti to get the overhealth buff so they wouldn't kill you. But even if they manage to get out of it, right, you still can just keep circling around to get overhealth, and then you have your Fortify again, which means you can stall for a very long period of time. Don't like perks that are related to ultimates, but this one seems pretty reliable. While Fortify is active, Orisa has no movement speed reduction and no heat regeneration. Yeah, that doesn't matter. When you do Fortify, you will not run out of bullets anyways. You will not get overcharged anyway, so it's not a big deal. And also, you can just pause for half a second. It's okay. It's not even a concern. And no movement speed reduction is also not a concern. It's not that big of a deal. I think the only reason why you would choose the first one is because the second one seems so underwhelming. So they removed the shield, which is good. I hated the shield. I don't know why they brought it back. Pretty bad. Ramattra, Relentless Form. While Nemesis form is active. So yeah, they removed the shield, by the way, just so you know. Whatever, it's pretty good. Shield is there? Where? Oh, no, yeah, my bad. It's there. It's actually my bad. I didn't see. I'm blind. My bad. Ramattra. Void Surge, avoid acceleration, periodically release a bird of 6 additional projectile during continuous fire. So yes, that's what you would choose most of the time. Why? More damage, more kills. Pretty good. Relentless Form. While Nemesis Form is active, eliminations extend the duration by 1 second. Half that during Annihilation. The extra second per elimination doesn't really do much for you. Because you either use it to get a kill, and you get a kill, which gives you a big advantage, or use it to block, and then you can't kill. The 1 second doesn't really do much for you. It's a pretty underwhelming perk. I don't know. And he says half that during Annihilation. You know, like with your ulti, half of that during the Annihilation. Yeah, it's pointless. If you manage to get a kill with your Nemesis form, you don't need the extra second most of the time. Like, it's pointless. And the Void Surge does a lot of, like, it's just way more consistent. This one's pretty bad. You don't need the extra second. You definitely don't need the extra half a second on your ultimate. It's really long. Most of the time, you're going to use it to block. I mean, not most of the time. A lot of the time, you're going to use it to block, so you can't really even get an elimination. So it wouldn't help you extend it. If you already got a kill, you kind of did your job. Extending it by 1 second, it's not going to do anything crazy for you. Yeah. All right. Void Surge also boasts his poke from, which is kind of weak. I agree, yeah. Reinhardt. Okay, this one needs the most. If there's a hero that needs the best perks, is Reinhardt. This guy has been so weak for so long because everybody else just has everything. Mobility, explosive power, Thanos ultimates. But this guy is just a guy with a hammer and a shield, and he can't even use both at the same time. Let's go. Barrier Recharge. Distance traveled while using charge regenerates your barrier field by 150 per second. That's not a bad perk at all. Refund a charge of Fire Strike when you stun an enemy, overfilling up to 3.
Stun an enemy with your ulti? Ult? Nah, not worth. Like, when people are on the floor anyways, you don't need to have your 5 strikes anyways. You have 2, which are enough for a kill. And you would probably, like, they probably will die anyways on the floor. And if they don't die because they use support ultimates, the 5 strikes are not going to have, you know, help anyways. So this one is very good. This one's very good. It means that you can play more aggressively and have more uptime. You know? It means you can stay in fights longer, which is good. Because you'll have your shield, you can extend in open spaces longer. Pretty good. While Barrier is active, use the damage knockback enemy. That's what the original one was. It's like a shield bash of Brig. For each enemies you hit with Fire Strike, gain 2 seconds of 25% increased attack speed. I'm not gonna lie, it's not. I don't think it's that great of a perk because Fire Strike, you're meant to use Fire Strike on the enemies that you can't hit regardless. So what is the increased attack speed is gonna help you with anyways? You know what I mean? Okay, you Fire Strike an Ana in the backline, so what? You're not gonna be able to hit her anyways. Now you can say you'll be able to hit the tank, sure, but you don't want to swing on the tank 24/7. You're still gonna get out healed, doesn't matter. And I think the shield slam actually pretty helpful most of the time. Movement speed would be better. Somebody on the YouTube chat, movement speed would be better. I agree. I think that if they change the Fire Strike from attack speed to movement speed, it would be hell of a lot better. You're correct. I like that. I like that idea. I like that. I know I would choose the shield slam. It's so much more versatile. Helps you disengage, help you close the distance. It's just way better. Way better. And when you get booped off the map, you can use it to get back. Way better. Moving on to Roadhog. So by the way, notice they don't have Pick Pen anymore. They removed Pick Pen completely, and they brought back his right click. So you can actually shoot from long ranges. And I love that thing. I think that Pick Pen was a shit ability. And I'm going to explain to you why it was a shit ability. I know it seems amazing on paper. Most of the time, it actually would get destroyed. The problem with Pick Pen is that it makes your hooks unsurprising. Why? Because you want to hook people into your Pick Pen. So people know where the hook is coming from. You know? Pick Pen is the trap that you put on the floor. So it basically told everyone who you're going to hook. It will get destroyed most of the time. So it's just underutilizability. Right? So it's pretty garbage. I like the old Roadhog, so you can actually poke way better with him, which helps very much. So and it's also very helpful against tanks at mid-range. Very good. So they removed this Pick Pen. They brought back the right clicks, which you can shoot from mid-range, and they do a lot of damage. And they brought back the Take a Breather on the E button, which is good, instead of the right click. Then now they changed the minor, right? The minor perks. Sharpener Launcher, extend the range of Scrap Gun secondary fire by 50% and tight its burp spread by 25%. That is amazing. That is an amazing perk. It extends the range so you can hit longer, and it tightened its burst. You don't understand how strong the right click is going to be. Number 1, against shields. Number 2, against tanks. And number 3, against people that are just taking distance on you. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Roadhog has such a better rep. Roadhog used to be one of the most fun tanks in Overwatch and one of the best tanks that you could carry with because of his ability to one-shot. People were complaining about one-shot with a hook, and my answer though was always, don't get hooked, bro. Cover, abilities, you have so much to avoid the hook. And the fact that Roadhog is so big with no defensive abilities, it just kind of means that it's like he has a disadvantage compared to the advantage he has with the hook, right? If you get a hook, bro, it's a skill issue most of the time. So I like that they are bringing back the damage, Roadhog, and not the one-dimensional put trap on the floor, try to hook into people. That doesn't work like 90% of the time. Anyways, Take a Breather rapidly increase Roadhog movement speed by 30%, which was the normal one, and gain overhealth based on how far you pull enemies with chain hook up to 250. That one is actually pretty damn good. And the reason why it's pretty damn good is because it allows you to actually hook people in front of their team and not be worried about getting burned down in a second. I like the pulled perk. I also like to Take a Breather with a movement speed. It's pretty nice. It decays really fast. Okay, if it decays really fast, then you know, would be okay. But I wouldn't discount it. I think it would be pretty good. And it also depends on like how, like what's the minimum. I think it's 250. It's 250 to the longest distance. But if somebody's close range, how much does he get? 50. If it's 50, it's not that amazing. So maybe their movement speed is gonna be better. Ah. So you can play around, so you can just flick your mouse. And okay, I get it. Okay. But yeah, I still think I would take the movement speed. I think the movement speed will help you chase enemies and also disengage from enemies way better. It's better than 250 health, anyways. I think it will be way better. I like that. I like that. I like the change they made. I like that they brought it back. You want to line up shot exactly. That's the point. Sigma, Hyper Regeneration. 50% of Hyper Spear's damage restores experimental barrier health. That's not bad. Absorbing projectiles to connect grasp also reduces assertion's cooldown. That one is okay. Second one is better. I like that. This basically means you have infinite uptime. Like you shoot, shield, shoot, shield, shoot, shield. This is really good. This makes it works from shooting shield. That's insane. Okay, that's actually insane. That's a 100% take the perk. It's very strong. It's kind of like the Baptiste one, where every time you heal, you get damage, and every time you damage, you get healed. I think that one's very good. It means you have infinite shield if you're playing correctly. Not infinite, but like you have a lot of shield if you play correctly. Yeah, I don't. Who uses Hyper Strike? Every 5 direct hits with Hyper Spheres, your next successful quick melee levitates and knocks away enemies. Who cares? Why would you even want to use quick melee regardless? Maybe in close range, but why do you want to? I don't know. It's alright, but like every 5 direct hits, I don't know. Seems alright at best. Levitate upwards, I think it's more useful for the most part, but some dude knocked me off the map before, but they can still knock you off the map with a rock. Anyways, Winston. Barrier toss. Winston now throws his barrier projector forward when used. I don't understand this exactly. Throws his barrier projector forward when used. Can somebody explain that to me? Can somebody explain that to me? What does it mean, throws his barrier projector forward? Like, what is that? It means Winston can avoid Sleep Dart and Briggs Whip Shot? Why? Also, you could avoid it anyways with your regular bubble. Yeah, I don't know. If it's the way I think it is, like you throw it like a Junkrat trap in front, throw it in front like Pigpen. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see the point of that. I don't get it. It's kind of pointless. Pretty lame. I don't understand it. During Primal Rage, jump back damage and array increased up to 75% airborne. So this one I will choose. I will choose the heavy landing one only because this one is so bad. Because it follows your momentum. Yeah, but you don't want to use it on momentum anyways. You want to like put yourself on the floor most of the time. Like, who cares? Follows the jump. You don't want to jump in front of enemies anyways like that, you know? Like, you want to jump from blind spots. You don't want to just, in front of 5 people, just jump like this. It doesn't really matter. Because then it would get broken in mid-air before you even land. Pretty bad. They removed the... Which one was it? What was the previous perk? Anyways, I would choose the heavy landing because it's just... This one seems pretty useless. It means you're not slipping jumping Winstons anymore? Well, you don't need to. You just wait for them to land and then sleep them anyways. That's what happened most of the time anyways. Against good Winstons at least. Yeah, I don't know. No, not a big fan. The regular one just stays as is. Wrecking Ball. Adaptive barrier. Adaptive shield generates a 1.2 barrier on activation, consuming 50 overhealth. Generates a 1.5 barrier on activation. So what barrier like a Reinhardt shield, like a monkey sphere? What does it mean? Zarya bubble? Pointless. It's pretty pointless. This one is way better. Why? Way more useful, can get you into better positions while power driving. It kind of throws people off. Ana sleeps and stuff, and it also does more damage, and more damage equals more kill potential, which means that whatever. It's pretty good. It's a very good ability. The adaptive barrier, consuming 50 overhealth for like 1.2 barrier. The reason why this isn't good, I'll tell you why this isn't good. Because you wouldn't die as Bull anyways. Bull doesn't die anyways, you know? If you play good Bull and you play him fundamentally sound, you wouldn't die anyways. So it's not that it's going to be that helpful. You can play around the health spec so much. It's like S-Bearer's skin can be slept at a time. Okay, if it completely mitigates CC, then maybe it's a different story. But I still would choose the damage one just because it does more damage. The 1.2 seconds is not a whole lot. You wouldn't be able to kill anybody in 1.2 seconds anyways. I mean, actually, maybe you might. You might. It seems like it's strong, but for the most part, I would prefer to take 50% more damage than something that I can reliably hit. But I wouldn't discount this. I would try this out and see if that actually broken. It could be broken. Doesn't seem like it, but it could be broken. It could be... Maybe I'm not seeing the vision, you know? Zarya, last but not least. Zarya, energy converter, hits with particle cannon secondary fire, generate 3 energy. Okay. You see, it's okay, but on the other hand, 3 is nothing. It stops decay. You put it in very nicely. It stops decay. But most of the time you wouldn't have decay. You know, that's the thing. Like when the fight is over, you're gonna have decay anyways, because the amount of time that you spend from point walking to respawn, if you want to shoot the respawn, it's still not enough to prevent decay. You're still gonna need to use a new set of cooldown cycles. That's relevant. And in the middle of the fight, when you have 100 charge, you would still want to cycle your bubbles regardless to keep the energy high. So I don't think it's as amazing as, yeah, even if it delays decay, it's not as amazing as it sounds. I think, yeah, the jump ups is still amazing. The thing about Zarya is that she's not very mobile. That's why she's so weak. But this allows her to be mobile, contest high ground, gets into really strong off angles, disengage much more reliably. Jump ups is an amazing perk. It helps Zarya become way better. And that one, unfortunately, is not good enough to switch it up for that. So, fortunately not. So in short, I think that some perks are completely underwhelming. I just don't understand them. They basically ruin how you should fundamentally play in order to improve and rank up at the game, how to play the characters well. Some enhance, so that means like Kiriko, for example, with a major perk. That would be an example. Some actually add to weaknesses of characters that enhance the way you should fundamentally play. Like Torbjorn with the hammer and you run faster, gets to off angles faster, can actually disengage now, which is quite nice. I like those changes. I think that overall, the perks seem very, very strong. The Symmetra Shield is pretty damn bad. The Symmetra Shield was the most shocking to me, but the Symmetra Shield felt like Blizzard doesn't understand what makes their characters good. The reason why Symmetra is good is because of the TP. If you use shield instead of TP, character is not good anymore. So in short, as I said, I think that some are hit, some are missed. Overall, there's a very, very big power creep with these perks. Either minor power creeps or strong power creeps. I think that the game is going to be obnoxious at the beginning of Season 18. Venture is a permaban, by the way, just letting you know. But maybe what I think what they're trying to do is increase. They try to increase pick rates of certain heroes and decrease pick rates. Like I think they're trying to increase Venture pick rates, for example, by making her obnoxiously OP, even though she is currently right now. Roadhog, they want to make him playable again, etc., etc. So overall, it's a change. It's a change. Is it a step in the right direction? I do not know. I'm not a big fan of power creeps. They've proven to be pretty bad for the game. But I don't want to... it's going to happen. There's no point for me to cry about it, you know? There's no point for me to cry about it. Even if I don't like it, there's no point for me to cry about it. It's going to happen tomorrow. And what I'm here for is telling you my opinion, what I think is going to be good and what I think is going to be bad. So... that's what I was going to do for the stream. I have to go now. And I wish you guys a great rest of the day. Great rest of the night. You have a lot of rest of the day. If you're interested in coaching, check out rankupacademy.gg and shoot me a DM with Discord if you care about improving at Overwatch or Marvel Rivals if you play that game. Have a good one, guys.